Hello, everybody. It's Feature Friday. It is my favorite day of the week, and I hope it's yours too, because we get to chat with some really amazing trailblazing leaders today. And this week, I'm really excited because I've been promoting and really pumped up about my guest. I think you're actually the first man, Sean. I'm talking to Sean Douglas, who is amazing in so many ways. Sean, so you like to, well, I've called you, it's not about what you call you, but I call you the Master Resilience Trainer. And I know that that is a real focus for you, but you're an author. You have an amazing radio show. You're a coach. You're also a military veteran, although it's not Navy. You know, there's not really much I can do about that. But I'm so excited to have you on the show today, Sean. And I'm going to give you an opportunity now to really introduce yourself and tell us all about you and what makes you a trailblazing leader.
Well, thank you for having me. So I'm a master resilience trainer. I teach mental, physical, social, and spiritual skill sets that empowers people to withstand, recover, and grow through adversity, stress, and life-changing demands. I'm military, and I love what I do. My show is heard in 15 countries. It's called Life Transformation Radio, and it's all about our life transformations from where we were to where we're going now. Because I firmly believe that everything that you go through prepares you for where you're going to go. And it's super huge that we talk about that, and we talk about the why behind everything. What's people's why? I'm fascinated by why people do things. And so as I talk to you now, I'm headed with my beautiful wife to Philadelphia to the One Life Fully Lived conference. I'm going to be presenting and speaking there. I'm going to be on a panel, and I love this part of my life where I can just go and impact so many people and bring my energy and motivation to it.
Well, I can feel your energy from here, and you're getting further and further away from me geographically. So I have a feeling, although you are going to some of my hometown stomping grounds, so I'm a little envious there. But because I'm from Delaware, by the way, so you're going to be driving for the 7 minutes you're in Delaware. Would you wave to all my peeps on your way? So it sounds really, really exciting, and we have Carmen on the line. I would like to say hello to Carmen.
Sure.
Carmen said that sounds really awesome what you do, and I have to agree. Your energy is definitely off the charts, and it's funny because I speak with a lot of women, and I don't often get a chance to communicate with men on this level. So it's really an honor to have such a new and unique energy coming to Feature Friday. So thank you so much for being on today, Sean. Also want to say hello to Lucinda, who happens to be my mom. My mom is hanging out with us today. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
So I wanted to ask you a couple of questions around how you got into this, because something you said was really, really cool, which was people who, and I'm paraphrasing because that's kind of what I do, but basically you said that kind of like our stories are what get us to where we are, and people who have some adversity in their backgrounds typically tend to rise higher or have this desire to rise. It's really strong, kind of like the further down you go, the higher up you bounce sort of scenario. So tell me a little bit about how you got to where you are. I see, you were in the military, and so how do you go from there to here?
Well, I'm actually still serving.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I'm actually still serving. So I'm building my speaker, trainer, coaching business as kind of a side hustle right now, but my military pay goes and funds it all. And yeah, I didn't have a why in life. I didn't have a purpose. 9/11 happened, and I said, you know what? Screw it. Let's just go. Let's just go in the military. Because everybody was patriotic at that moment, and I was working at Discount Tire as a warehouse manager. And so 4 years into my military career, I was in England, and I became an alcoholic. And there was things that I dealt with in my past that I didn't deal with in my past that started coming up. I failed at relationships. I wasn't fulfilled in anything that I did, and drinking was the only thing that I felt fulfillment in. And meeting people, and I've always been a people person. I love meeting people. I love connecting, because I guess when your parents divorce at a young age and you're pulled in so many different directions as a kid, you don't really feel loved on one person or the other. I don't know, my opinion anyways, but it manifested so much into where I didn't think people loved me. I didn't feel like my friends actually cared about me. I didn't feel like people actually loved me for me. And so I had to pretend to be somebody that I wasn't. And I never felt fulfilled. And so I met my wife in 2007 or 2006. And at that point, I was going way downhill. I was going to alcohol dependency classes, and I didn't want to quit, I guess. And so in 2007, my house burned down during a party, and my wife was like, "Hey, why don't you come hang out with me? Why don't you come? We'll get this thing going, and I'll take care of you, and I'll give you a place to stay or whatever." Well, we ended up getting married later that year, and then not even a year later, we filed for divorce. Well, yeah, we filed for divorce, and then I tried to take my life because I had nothing. I felt like I was nothing. I didn't value myself. I didn't feel like people valued me. I didn't. And so I'm a suicide survivor. But out of tragedy births a passion and purpose for our life that we never knew existed. And I firmly believe that, because if I wouldn't have gone through everything that I've gone through, I wouldn't have anything to speak about. I wouldn't have a powerful testimony to say, I can do it and so can you. And so I got help. I reached out, and I became better than I was. And that has been my goal ever since middle of 2009, was to be better than I am today. I want to be better than I was yesterday. And tomorrow I'm going to be better than I was today, and so on. And in 2009, I became a drill instructor for Air Force Basic Training. I fell in love with teaching and training. I never knew that I would love it. And I love it. I love the impact. I love the, aha, all right. And I did that. You know what I mean? Like I gave somebody something that they were searching for, and maybe they didn't even know that they needed it. They heard it and go, oh yeah. And so I have a way to impact so many people. And that's why I have my radio show, because I want to impact the world. I have a goal. In 10 years, I want to impact 1 million people. In 10 years, I want to impact 1 million people. So that's my goal.
That's a great goal. That is a great goal. Now, you said it's really, first of all, your story is amazing. Thank you for sharing it with us. You took us up, you dropped us. You took us up, you dropped us. You brought us back up. So thank you for bringing us back up. But that's so, it's funny because that is the theme, though, especially here in Trailblazing Leaders. But I think a lot of leaders, period, who decided at one point that enough was enough. And that's not the story, the legacy I'm leaving, and it's time to make a change. And then it goes a step further. And this is where I think, and maybe you agree too, but this is where I really believe leaders separate themselves. It goes from just helping myself to also then I want to help as many other people not go through the pain that I went through.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a quote by Sun Tzu in the book Art of War. And it goes like this: regard your soldiers as your children, and they will follow you into the deepest valleys. Look on them as your only begotten son, and they will follow you even unto death. Which basically means that everyone you lead has to buy into you as a person before they will buy into the vision. A lot of leaders get it wrong when they say, well, this is the direction we're going and you need to follow. And they're not going to, no matter how hard you try, no matter how hard it is to get someone to do what you want them to do, it is not going to happen, because people buy into the leader first and the vision second.
Yeah, absolutely. It's and just with online entrepreneurship overall too, they have to know and like you, then they'll buy anything from you. And I see a lot of people in the community that some of the other communities that I'm in really struggling with, why am I not successful? What am I not doing? And the whole component to this is really, it's showing who you really are. It's allowing them to get to know you, developing that relationship, and then bringing to them the things that you have that is going to help their life. And that's really what it's all about. And people look at it like a sale, but it really is, it's a life-saving or a life-helping either technique or tool, system, whatever. And so I love that that is exactly what you touched on. So let's talk a little bit about your radio show because, because radio. So, who doesn't love radio? How did you get started with that? And how long have you been doing it? And how has it grown? Talk to us. Give us a little bit of an insight into what. Oh wait, before we do though, I want to get some comments. And also, guys, if you have any questions for Sean, drop them in the thread here. I'm sure that you have some really good questions by now, because I know I have a gazillion, and you're here, so you're curious too. So I wanted to really quickly acknowledge that Mark, who is my husband, by the way, is he said he loves your passion, and congratulations for pioneering the male guest spot on the show. So, those were some big shoes that you had to fit into there. So, of course, I'm kidding.
Your husband's awesome.
I tend to feel the same way most days. No, I'm kidding. Every single day, he's awesome. He's gonna come in here and go, "What are you doing?" He's awesome. He is actually a critical component to this whole system that you see going on here. So thank you, honey. Carmen said, thank you for the example you offered about bouncing back and thriving no matter how hard you fall. So Carmen had a very interesting story too about coming from the lowest possible point in her life, where she felt her life was in danger, and then bounced up as well. So we have a lot of similar themes here, which I love that everyone feels comfortable enough to share it. Kathleen is also here. Hello, Kathleen. And she said that she loved your story, and she's on here. And guys, so really, if you have any questions, drop them in. We've got plenty of time for him to answer them. So let's go on, Sean. Tell us all about the radio show.
Okay. So the radio show is a live online radio show where people can call in and talk to the guests. So instead of doing like FM or AM, it's an online broadcast so that you can actually listen anywhere you want to, on your phone, on a tablet, on a computer, wherever you are. As long as there's an internet connection, you can hear the show. And the show is called Life Transformation. And it is all about our transformation from where you were to where you're heading to. And we talk about the hiccups, the roller coasters, because everybody always sees this little bit of success, but they don't see the big underneath iceberg, right? They don't see the hiccups and the roller coasters and everything. And so what I do is I highlight not only the transformation that we've gone through, but I also highlight the struggle and the hiccups. Because every time that, let's say you go to a conference or you go and talk to somebody, you have to have a positive mindset. Okay, well, how do I do that? You just have to have it. How? Nobody ever talks about the how. We talk about the why, and we talk about the how. Because what it comes down to is people don't buy into what you do. They buy why you do it and how you do it. That's exactly what they buy into. They want to know why we're going to do something and how we're going to do it. They don't care what we're doing. They don't care about that. How am I going to do this? How do I make this happen? That's all people care about. So that's what we highlight on the show. My guests have been Tom Ziglar, which is Zig Ziglar's son. Tom Ziglar from Ziglar Inc., Bruce Buffer from the UFC, Greg Reed, who is the author of Stickability, Thoughts Are Things, and 3 Feet from Gold, millionaire speaker, Greg Reed. He's been on the show. I just had Jamie Lerner two days ago. 2 days ago. She was fabulous. And she is a self-love expert in self-love. And she was amazing. And so, let's see, who else have I had? I've had musicians on, Brother James, he was amazing. June 14th, I got Frank Shankowitz from Make-A-Wish Foundation coming on. He's the founder of Make-A-Wish Foundation. Frank Shankowitz is going to be joining us. I've got some amazing guests, other podcasters, radio personalities, amazing people that come on the show. And it's all the same. We talk about where we were and how we got started and what we're doing now. And I started at the end of February, and my show was heard in 15 countries with an average of 540 some odd weekly listeners. Like I said, in 15 countries, and it's been amazing, the response that I've gotten. And after it's live, the show gets uploaded. Like today, the show will be uploaded, Jamie's show, to iTunes and Stitcher. So you can find my show on iTunes and Stitcher after the live broadcast. So yeah, join me every Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And then every first and third Friday.
Well, I'm a fan just because it's radio and because it's you. And so we're just going to keep piling all the reasons why we're fans. And Tandy said you're rocking the radio show. She says hello. Hi, Tandy.
My show can be found if you go to www.blogtalkradio.com, blogtalkradio.com/Life Transformation Radio. That's where you can hear it live. Blog Talk Radio hosts, they're the center, they host the radio show. And then if you search it on iTunes and Google. There you go. There it is. Life Transformation Radio. Yep. So you can actually listen to it, listen to any episode there, or you can go to iTunes and Stitcher, leave me some reviews, comments, whatever your heart desires.
So I have a question that probably some of our viewers might have, or listeners if we're listening, because I always repurpose these videos for lots of things. So it could be the podcast. You never know. So a lot of our audience might be thinking the same thing that I am, which is this is great. So we all can wrap our head around the fact that someone can start a radio talk show or could start a podcast. But how did you get from the beginning to where you are? What is that when you talk about this is the why and this is how I got here and this is what, give us that insight into you, and let's just focus it right now on the radio show. How did you build it, and how did you get notable names? What did that take inside of you?
I love it. We're going to talk about the how. I love it. Okay, so here's what I did. I said last year as I was coming on all these podcasts and meeting amazing people that I want to do something like I want to host one. And so I co-hosted with Brenda Bay. We co-hosted, there was a whole mastermind, and he has his is called Implicit Radio. And so I was like, man, this is awesome. So I was asking people, I was like, man. And so I looked at what everybody was doing, right? I looked at what everybody was doing. And I said, nobody is talking about where I was and here I am. Nobody's talking about that. Everybody's like, so what do you do? Why do you do it? How do you do that? That's cool, man. See ya. That's the show. You know what I mean? And so I wanted to be like, well, why? I wanted to know different things. And so I compiled all my questions I would ever ask somebody on a radio show. I compiled them all, and that's how I formulated my show. And I said, okay, January, I'm rocking it. And so I was going to start in January, but I said, you know what? Let me make sure that what I'm going to do is going to flow. And so I sent out a couple emails on my list. Hey, what do you want to see in guests? What do you want to know about? What do you want to do? And so I asked my listeners or my email list and my people on Facebook and everything, what do you want to know? Who do you want to talk to? What's going on? And this is the feedback they gave me, and then I just gave them what they wanted. But I also get to know how they do things, And so I sat there the first day and I said, who do I want on the show? Chuck Norris, Gary Vaynerchuk, Les Brown, Eric Thomas. I literally wrote a list. Elon Musk, Vince McMahon from WWE, John Cena. I wrote a list of who I know, right? And then so I did all the famous. So I have one famous list, and I'm knocking it out. I'm like email. And then I looked at my own list and said, who do I know that is a badass? Who do I know? And so the people that I've had on there, some people are in my tribe, like Sven. Sven is marching to his first million. He is relentless in making his first $1 million and retiring by 35 or 40 years, right? I've had Tim Rode, who is the founder of One Life Fully Lived, who is the leader of our amazing tribe and our community, who I'm going to the conference this weekend to speak. I'm going to sit on a panel right next to Tim Rode. Me and Tim, I'm like, Tim, he's awesome. And so I'm just like, who do I want on the show who's already in my tribe, who I have a one-on-one with? And so I wrote that list. And so that's who I'm pulling from, is those people. And I've had 2 people actually tell me, hey, I want to be on your show. Let's do it. If I could ever find out the calendar automation on Calendly would be amazing, but I suck at technology.
Well, I use Acuity. Acuity is so easy. I'm just telling Acuity. Yes, they can schedule themselves. Well, because you did it, right?
Right.
That was really easy. You just plug in forms and things in the back end. And it's really, trust me, there are certain areas where I am a technology goddess. And there are areas where I am in kindergarten. And you wonder how the same person can be functioning with the right hand and the left hand. I am not kidding you. I will tell you. Yeah. Yeah, it's
trying to figure this out.
I think it's a passion thing, because we're passionate about communication and the airwaves and getting the message out. Yep. But learning how to schedule a calendar, are you freaking kidding me? There's no way I can figure this out. Trust me, Acuity is the way to go. I love it. It was
my troubleshooting. My troubleshooting stops at power on, power off, power on. Yeah, I'm done.
Well, I have to tell everyone. So this quick story of last night, I did a live stream on my computer for the first time from my personal page. And I was so excited that I finally realized that I could do it, that I forgot to turn my mic on. And so my mic was off for the first 3 minutes. Well, today, Sean comes on and, Be Live is in the beta version. So sometimes the audio works, sometimes it doesn't. I am not perpetually late. It's just that a lot of times we are working out the technology bugs. And so I come on at like 12:10 and, it's not like Deb needed to go do her eyebrows or something. So here we are trying to figure out the technology this morning. And all of a sudden I thought, well, let me try my mic. And sure enough, my mic was off again. So sometimes things happen and you just have to go with the flow and say, I understand where my weaknesses are and I understand where my strengths are. And we have to embrace the strengths, right? So what strengths, Sean, have you had to embrace in yourself to get to this point?
Oh my God, my heart just flooded out of my chest just now. I love talking about strengths. Oh my God. So let me preface this with a preface so somebody knows what I'm prefacing without actually prefacing anything. So listen, there's no weaknesses in this world, just strengths that you don't use all the time. Everybody has about 24 to 25 strengths, okay? So to capitalize on strengths, you have 5 core strengths that are called signature strengths. My signature strengths are spirituality, bravery, leadership, love, and honesty. So those are like my 5 signature strengths. Would you believe for a second that my number 24 strengths out of 24 strengths is self-control?
Really? Self-control?
Weird. I was an alcoholic for a while. My lowest strength is self-control. Weird.
Who would have thought?
Really?
Who would have thought that?
There's no weaknesses. We don't have weaknesses, just things that we're just not good at. Because one of the rules of success is exploit your gifts and talents and sharpen your skills. So whatever gift and talent you have, I did not know that I have a gift and talent coaching, and I never knew that. I have huge passion and energy because I get passionate. I am relentless in what sets my soul on fire. No one is going to take that away from me. I'm fearless and relentless of what sets my soul on fire. And when I'm speaking and I'm on stage, I am in love with what I'm doing. I have the greatest job in the world. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
I'm not so passionate about things. When I'm not so passionate about things, I'm like, meh. But I'm still kind of like 100% like all the time. Even things that I don't want to do, I'm just like my wife has like a honey-do list, and I'm like, I don't even know what that means. And no English, And
no English.
Like, whatever. Like whatever. And so I still have to do it. But you have to exploit your gifts and talents and sharpen your skills. So I've spent probably almost $10,000 in personal development, professional development courses so far this year because I'm relentless in pursuing. And I just found another one I want to do. It's like $97 on how to land a TED Talk. Because my goal, my dream is to be a TED speaker. Last year, I said 5 years I'm going to do it. This year, I said, 3 years. In 3 years, I will talk on the TED stage. I'm relentless. And I've done over like 11 I think. I've done 11 applications. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen because I've already done it. In my mind, I've already delivered a TED Talk. I've already been on stage. I've already high-fived everybody. Like, it's already happened. I just need to physically do it because I've already manifested it in my mind.
Right.
And so when we talk about capitalizing our strengths, we have to use our 5 signature strengths. And it goes without saying that those strengths tie into your values. Mm-hmm. And so when you can use those and exploit those, you will live a better life. Mic drop.
Boom. Well, I'm not dropping mine because I have enough issues with my mic. So
it'll probably turn off.
We can't trust it. So that was amazing. And Tandy's over here just loving it. If this resonated with you, give us some hands up and some love. We would love to see it. So Tandy said that she loved it about leveraging your skills and talents, and that we don't have weaknesses. We have basically things that we aren't an expert in. And And she believes that you're absolutely going to be on the stage. Carmen is all like, yes, that's the state. This community is great because we all really do believe in manifesting, taking action, and then it comes true. I mean, the more that you do it, the more successful you're going to be. And it is about muscle building. It's not about, I always say, it's funny when you talk about we don't have weaknesses. What I use with my family and with my community is that you just have a muscle that's weak. And so what I say is the muscles are all there, right? They're all there. It's just which one are you strengthening? And when you talk about all of this amazing stuff versus the back end of not really being passionate about setting up the back end and figuring out the calendar, that speaks volumes to people who are highly successful and why we need to sometimes do the difficult task of outsourcing things that we don't necessarily feel passionate about and that we personally are blocking. So have you had any lessons like that in your life, Sean, where and by the way, if anyone has questions, now's the time to get them in. And my mom says, isn't your brain a muscle? Yes, your brain is a muscle. And if you're focusing on the wrong side, such as if you're focusing on what's not working or why you can't have something, that's where you're going to head versus if you work on the muscle, the part of the muscle that really can visualize that. Like Sean, you did an amazing job of visualizing what you want. And that's the other thing too, is having, like, you can see it and smell it and hear it and taste it and feel it. Yeah.
Make a vision board. Oh my gosh. Make a vision board.
Yeah. And journaling too. I'm a huge proponent of writing that stuff into existence for sure. So you and I can talk all day, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But if anyone has
the brain real quick, can I talk about the brain real quick?
Yes, please do. Please do.
So as a master resilience trainer, I teach everything that is based on positive psychology research. This is nothing that Sean Douglas just made up and manifested and what it's out there. You can read this stuff. It's positive psychology research. And one of my most favorite researchers that was done was the London cab driver story. Basically what happened was they took 20 cab drivers and they took 20 random people. And the 20 London cab drivers, what they did was they took their MRIs of their brain and they said that the frontal lobe, this cortex that is navigation and GPS, is super massive as opposed to everybody else. They took those MRIs of the 20 other people's brains, and what they found was that each thing that they do in life is bigger than everybody else, including the London cab drivers. Here's why. When you get into a car for the first time and using a GPS, very rarely are you still a year later using that GPS to go to and from work because you've already learned how to get from point A to point B. Right. We don't use the GPS anymore, right? We're not using the GPS. We already know where we're going. If we're on a road trip, we've never been there before, we're using the GPS. London cab drivers don't use GPS because they have to know where to go because they've done it so many times. Other people, they do certain things for a while, and then it's like riding a bike. They're doing it because that's their job. It's just like when you and I learn how to do radio, it's like, oh my gosh, is this going to work? Did it upload? And we're so like, oh my God, I don't want to push on it. Where did I touch? Oh my God. Now we're like, I got it. Click, click, click. We're done. Right? We can just do it, right? What they or this research was that everything you do is a learned behavior. So look at everything that's going on in the world. Racism, learned behavior.
Yeah.
Hate, learned behavior. Love, learned behavior. Negative person, learned behavior. Positive person, learned behavior. Each part of the brain affects a different part of your life. And so if you can exploit your gifts and talents, sharpen your skills, and get in, I'm a negative person. Good. Work on your positivity, right? So that research came out and blew all kinds of myths away, right? And it says that everything we do is a learned behavior. If you want to be successful, learn how to do it. Read books, go to courses, go to conferences, sharpen the skill. If you want to be a negative person, it takes no effort to be low. It takes no effort. It takes zero effort for you to be a loser. Zero effort. People do it every day. It takes hard work, dedication, and a relentless attitude to say, I am not going to be as bad as whatever. I'm not going, like for me, I'm not going back to 2008 when I had a gun in my mouth. It's not going to happen. I know how that felt. I'm not going back to there. I want to be better than I was yesterday. And my mission is to impact everyone around me.
Boom, mic drop. Yes. They're all over the place. I just want to thank you again for being on here today and bringing all of yourself to the table. I think that as leaders, we move the needle by being totally real. And I hate to use words like authentic and real self, but it is, and vulnerable, but it is really in situations like this, that is the absolute truth of being free enough in who you are to open up and share that with the community, because that is what moves the needle for other people. They can step forward and say, yes, you know what? I identify with this, or this happened in my life, and this is what I did with it. And I can see that someone else struggled and they got through it too. And each person that climbs gives at least, I would say at least two, because I always look at it like we are one person, but we have two hands. So as we rise, we have the capacity to help two other people rise with us. And so I'm always looking at it that way. And I think that just by you being so open with everything that you've done and everything that you're doing, and just giving us the opportunity to learn a little bit from you is quite an honor. So thank you so much. I know we could talk all day, but I want to go ahead and start wrapping up and just ask you, it's hard to touch on all of your awesomeness in 30 minutes. So I know that a lot of the people in this community are going to reach out and are going to, like the page for the talk show or for the radio show, and are going to really follow you and probably connect with you. And I highly recommend everyone do that. Yes, this is a community. And so that's what we're building. But is there anything that we haven't touched upon yet that you think people need to know about you, or maybe a lesson too of something they maybe don't know about themselves yet, but could be a place where they could start?
Okay, I'll give you a minute snapshot.
Okay.
We're gonna be like Energize a Bunny here. You ready? Okay.
And go.
So I wrote a book called Decisions: The Power to Overcome Self-Defeating Behaviors. And everybody has two self-defeating behaviors that are more dominant than everything else. The number two most common self-defeating behavior is we compare our chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 20. How come I'm not as good as her on Be Live and her show and Trailblazers? And how come I'm not successful? Like, what? Right? People do that all the time. Right? They're just starting out. How come they have 11 million people? And I'm like, what? Like, it's like day one. I never thought that about my radio show. I'm like, it'll get there when it gets there. But I'm always authentic, genuine, and transparent. Always. Genuine, authentic, and transparent. You have to be that. Have to. And then the number one self-defeating behavior that everybody has, I have it, you have it, my wife, everybody we know has this self-defeating behavior. Everybody has it. They count other people's blessings, either subconsciously or not subconsciously. They always do. How come he has an awesome husband? Oh my God, I wish my kids acted like that. Wow, look at that car. That's an amazing car. Look at that Ferrari. I wish I had a Ferrari. That's amazing. You say it and then you move on with life. But subconsciously, you're like, man, I wish I'd had that house. I wish I had that job. I wish I had $1 million. I wish I had this. And we think about, the lottery's at $250,000. Oh man, what could I do with that? And when you count other people's blessings, you miss the own blessings in your life. So if you're feeling down or you don't feel like you have a lot, here's what you do. Count 3 blessings a day. Count 3 blessings a day every day. And I guarantee you will start counting your blessings and you will see things that nobody else sees in your life. How is that a blessing? Believe me, it's a blessing. And the number one blessing that you start off with is you.
Gratitude.
I'm a blessing. You're a blessing.
Yeah.
Everybody's a blessing, right?
Yes.
So my number one blessing is me. I'm a blessing because I can impact 1 million people. I can impact whoever, right? And then all my kids. And at some point, you'll say, I'm blessed for air, right? I mean, at some point, you'll just be so, like, you're counting them all, and you're just like, leaves? Right? But then it's those one times you're like, somebody bought my coffee at Starbucks. Yeah. Or become a blessing. Be a moment maker. Does anybody in this community ever make moments for people? I'm a moment maker. I'll buy, like the old couple who was spitting straws at each other at Denny's, I'll buy their meal.
Oh, that's awesome.
2 cops walked into Buffalo Wild Wings a couple days ago when me and my wife were there. They walked in. It was like 9 o'clock at night. We're getting ready to leave. I told the waitress, I'm buying their meal. And I went over there, shook their cop's hand. I was like, no matter what anybody thinks about police, man, you guys are people too. I love what you're doing. And I walked away. and I made a moment for somebody. No matter how I feel about something, they're still human. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so if you can be a moment maker, oh, it's a movement. Oh, God, it's a movement, and it's empowering when you can be a moment maker, and you can be a blessing for somebody, and the world would such be a better place.
I think you're my brother from another mother. I'm just saying that you're saying stuff and I am sure so many people in this community identify with exactly what you said. We are heart-centered leaders, and it's not just about forging that path forward that's going to bring you success. It's about opening up the bubble wider and wider so that more people can fit in, and showing them the scope of what's possible and giving them that little bit of hope. And because sometimes that's all they have. You never know what the people that you've opened up and done a kind gesture for have gone through that day. And just knowing that you're spreading that ripple out a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And Mark said he loves that idea, and he's going to create moments. So, Sean, I would like to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for whatever moments he's going to decide to create. So thank you so much for being on here today, Sean. We have the radio show, the Life Transformation Radio link. Where else can people find you? And do you have something right now that you're working on that you're either trying to bring people in for, or is there a program you're offering, or where's your focus right now in your business?
Okay, so my business is the Success Core, and I help people unlock their true potential that will elevate their life. I do 2-day resilience seminars. I travel around. I can deliver a half-day seminar. I can deliver whatever the resilience seminar that they want. I speak to different organizations. I do team building, leadership. I speak on whatever anybody wants me to speak on with as much energy as I can. Okay, so
which I can see clearly is a problem for you.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I do monthly coaching. I do monthly coaching, either group coaching. I do one-on-one coaching through Skype or Zoom. Or I love doing like my masterminds on Zoom. That's like my most favorite thing to do. You get like 6 people on Zoom and you just rock it for like 40 minutes, and it's life-changing. And so I do that. But yeah, you can look at my website is the Success Core, CORPS, thesuccesscore.com. You can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com at Sean Douglas Speaks. It'll say Sean Douglas, Master Resilience Trainer and Speaker. My CORPS. Yep, thesuccesscore.com. CORPS. It says CORP. I just saw it. And there's a Life Transformation Radio Facebook page. There's a The Success Core Facebook page. There's a I got my own speaker page, and then I'm on LinkedIn. Like, I am not hard to find. I dominate Facebook Live and dominate Facebook. Like, my wife gets so mad at me. She's like, "You're always on Facebook." I'm like, "I gotta talk to my fans," Like, so
I'm always saying my people.
Right?
I have to go talk to my people.
I don't do Snapchat or Snapagram or InstaChat. Like, I don't do any of that. You know what I mean? I don't do any of that. But I am not a hard person to find. Shoot me an email, Sean, SEAN, Sean at thesuccesscore.com. Shoot me an email. We'll talk. Like I said, I will travel around, speak to organizations, speak to people, do resilience seminars for a day or half day. We'll rock this thing. I will unlock your potential and elevate your life. If anybody wants to know what they value and their strengths and not their weaknesses, there's a website you can go to. It's the VIA Institute. It's called Values in Action. Google Values in Action Character Survey. And if you do that, you'll go to the VIA Institute website, and you'll take a 10 to 15 minute survey, and it'll kick out 24 of your strengths. And if you are number 1, prudence, or number 1, zest, you are in the top 1 to 10% of everybody who takes it. That is a very rare strength to have. Prudence and zest. Nobody has that as their top 1, not even top 5, really. It's usually somewhere in the middle of the bottom. But VIA, it's called Values in Action. That's what it stands for. VIA Institute. Google the Character Strength Survey from the VIA Institute. Take it. It'll blow your mind.
Well, my mind's been blown for the last 40 minutes or so. So I just want to thank you very much for coming on. I have a feeling this is the beginning of a very long relationship in the form of media and communications and possibly some collaborations down the road. I can't imagine that wouldn't happen.
You're going to be on my
That's
show.
right. Yes, definitely. So I look forward to connecting with you more. I dropped a couple links in here, Sean. If you want to drop more in, definitely feel free. And to everyone in the community, even if you're watching the replay or you're listening, please feel free to drop questions in, and Sean will come back. You know, he's going to be tagged in here, so it's pretty obvious he's checking it out and making sure that he can be of service to you. So thank you so much for being here. And guys, you know, definitely connect with Sean. Take the opportunity to connect with another leader and see how we can all continue to elevate and spread that ripple of awesomeness out there. Thank you so much, Sean. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.